Okay, so I'm going to show you how to add a border on the outside of it for a knockdown stitch, or what they call a back stitch. I've typed my text on the screen here, so the next step for me now is to go in and actually select my text on the screen. And so once I've done this, all I'm going to do is here I have two outline features here in the software. Most of the time I use just a simple offset tool because that just gives me enough of what I need here. I'm going to click on simple offsets. Now here it allows me to add borders around the outside of my letters for two colors. But I want to go in and I want to stitch this on a beanie cap. And so I'm going to go in, I'm going to add a running stitch outline on the outside of my shape. So with this, I want to go into my simple offsets because I'm using metrics. I'm going to put this running stitch 2 millimeters to the outside of this text. And I only need one offset, and I'm going to use the run stitch. Now here is the create offsets for a hole in the fill, but because these are so small, this is not going to matter, so I'm not going to even select that there. I'm going to click OK. Watch this. It adds my border. I'm going to go in. I'm going to change the color of that border. I'm going to select it here. My beanie cap is black. And I'm going to navigate up top, and I'm going to change this to a motif fill pattern. Bam! It immediately chooses the kite as a default. I use this most of the time. If you need to, I know that I can go and I can change the default size here is 4 millimeters. I can make this 3, and it makes those smaller. Before, I can make those smaller if I need to. And all I'm going to do, guys, is this. Here, I'm going to move this to the front. This is going to stitch first. It has to be the same color as the garment or it's not going to work. Works like this. I go in, I select it here, and bam! Here, it gives me the black color at 1:1. That stitch being the same color as the fabric is going to disappear, and it's going to flatten that fabric. And this is going to stitch on top of it. It's going to look absolutely amazing. Just by going in, adding the motif fill on top of it, because it's going to stitch like this. It's going to go in, it's going to stitch this first. It's the same color as the fabric, so they're not going to see it. And it needs to be close enough to the lettering also, so you don't want to extend it too far away from the lettering. But here, this is how this is going to stitch out, guys. And this is actually money in your pocket, because you may have to never use that solvay again with this stuff here, because this stabilizes the fabric, it makes it flat. It's going to disappear before your top row of stitches sews out. And you put the necessary underlays here, for this here, and stitch on top of that beanie cap. It looks absolutely amazing. Backfill. And that's how it's going to stitch out, just like that. Any questions? Isn't that cool? And not only will it work for this, I mean, what if I do this? Or what if I have a? I mean, I don't know. I'm just a dude here. I'm going to open this up here. What if I got just a logo design that I did a year or 2 years ago, and somebody wants this on a one of those really thick Ralph Lauren towels or a bathrobe. Same thing here. As I select this, that's my size there actually. I want to go in, I want to add this same thing. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to group this together here. I'm going to click group. So it's all one object. If I click one thing, it selects everything else. Same thing. I'm just going to navigate here. 2.0, click OK. Bam! You select it. If that bathrobe is this color, we'll make it this color, and I'm going to navigate, and I'm going to click on my motif fill pattern. Bam! Just like this. Now, the background, this is going to stitch first, so I'm going to select this. Up top here in my sequence tab, I'm going to move this to the start, just like this. And now for the color of the background, all I'm going to do is going to go in here, and I'm going to change the color of the background. It's going to disappear. When I run this, it's going to freaking disappear, guys. So this here is absolutely amazing, because this changes a lot of things. It saves money with the solvay. and it gives you an excellent stitch out here with this. And again, you don't want the spaces to be too far to the outside. You want it close enough to where it goes in and flattens that garment so that you can stitch on top of it. It works just like this. Absolutely amazing. And you can change the size of these if you need to, but you may not even have to. Then you go in and you stitch everything else. This is a basic, just awesome flat stitch here that's running stitches. So it's not filled in like a full pattern here. This is doing running stitches in the background in the same color as the fabric. And here it goes in. It took me a little while. It took me a little while to complete this, guys. As you can see, it's quite demanding. Background disappeared. The running stitches are gone. Nobody's going to see them because they're the exact same color as the fabric, and that's the way that this works. Back stitch. Isn't that cool?
I've done that before, but I manually punched the fill.
Yeah, this is exceptional here because this it's fast, and not only that, you can use different here. We haven't talked about the special fills here. This is the motif pattern fills here, and with the motif pattern fills, you have like a list of these fills in here, and you can go in and with these particular fills, you can change the fill pattern, the features. But I usually use the kite feature in it actually because the kite just it always works better for me. So that's what I usually use with this, and it's a great tool inside the program. I use it whenever I need to use it for something like that. I use it because it's absolutely phenomenal. Great feature inside the software. Again, and you have lots of options here inside your your special effect here for your offsets here. But I usually use the simple offset tool most of the time because as far as adding borders on things like that, this is what I use most of the time. This one's good too for more creative type things here with the outlines and with the outlines and offsets. It's good for doing more creative type stuff, but for just basic production type stitching, I usually use the simple offset tool. I think it's great. And so this tool here can eliminate using Solvay at all. This. Go in and press your number 1 key on the keyboard. How small is it? That's small. Go back on it and delete it. Or what you can do also, if it doesn't work here, you can always go to your reshape tool and just extend it out. Yeah, you can always do that.
Okay. Is this the right motif setting?
Yep. That's it. That's your kite. Okay. And with that kite setting, all you're going to do is you're going to select that and you're going to click it here to select it, and you're going to change it to the color of the fabric. Just like that. And yep, and you're going to move that, click and drag it like this. And if you change that background color, if you go into change that background color there to black, whatever color, and click OK, and it's going to stitch just like that. It's going to disappear in the background. It's incredible. I absolutely love this feature inside the software. And it saves money too. Because like I said, that Solvay is expensive. It's not cheap. There's so this one, and I'm going to